Hey Scorpio, this is Michael with your September 2023 reading. I hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. Honestly, as I was connecting to your energy, it feels like this month is a bit of a mixed bag. I feel like there could be a lot of intensity and maybe even some destruction, but at the same time, there was this serenity and this peace. And the reason I'm saying that is because I had this vision of walking on a beach while I was connecting to your energy. And I saw these palm trees and was kind of walking between them. And there's all of this debris that was just strewn about in the sand, branches, rocks, you know, just things that were very disheveled. And it felt like a storm had passed through or a hurricane had come through. And I've never actually lived through a hurricane myself. So if some of you have, definitely comment down below what it's like. But to me, it was this odd serenity in this because even though there was this destruction, the storm was over. The storm had passed. And now you were assessing things. You were seeing things from a more centered perspective. And I feel like a lot of you are assessing the true impact of something in the month of September. I feel like something very serious is going on. Maybe for some of you, you literally are experiencing a storm. We are going through hurricane season in September. But I feel like for the majority of you in this collective, this is really about figuring out what is worth rebuilding versus what has left your life for a reason, or what did not weather the storm for a reason, whether that was a relationship, whether that was a job. I know there has been some pretty intense energy in August, specifically with Venus retrograde in your 10th house of career. So maybe there is something with career that you're just kind of realizing isn't working for you anymore, or the way that you are working or putting yourself out in the world, something needs to change there. That could very well be part of this. I do also feel like there's a lot of focus on community this month for you as well, because we are in Virgo season. And for you, Scorpio, Virgo energy represents your astrological 11th house of community. And going back to that storm metaphor, very often communities or people will come together in the aftermath of a natural disaster. And so there might be this really big thing that's happening. And so it's very important that you are connecting with people as well and connecting to the things that really matter. Again, the energy was very, very interesting. I'm so curious to see what's in the tarot for you. I have just a touch of housekeeping before we get too far in today's video. We are in Virgo season after all. For those of you who are returning to this channel, it's great to see you again. Welcome back. I'm actually uploading a lot more on my other social media accounts, and honestly, by my own admission, I've been pretty vacant online for a while. A big irony of my life is I'm actually not a huge social media person at all. It's just been a wonderful vehicle to do this work, and I would really appreciate anyone who is on these other platforms to also follow me on there as well. I'm actually really enjoying the shorter format. It feels more engaging and it helps me put out information more quickly. So definitely consider following me there. You can find all of my links for social media accounts in the description of this video, alongside links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. For those of you who are new to this channel, hello, welcome. My name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. So while I started shuffling the cards for you, Scorpio, I already had a couple that fell out. I did have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the World upright. And this is a really interesting combination to me because the Nine of Pentacles in reverse can sometimes feel like being thrown out of your comfort zone or a sense of stability. Again, kind of thinking of this storm imagery that I had before. It feels like something has been destroyed, and yet it is opening a new door for you. And I think you actually are very aware of this. I don't think this is something that you're just suddenly realizing, Scorpio. I feel like a lot of you have been maybe attached to a comfort zone for a while, or you've been afraid of taking risks. And it feels like a very important turning point right at the beginning of September is for you to open yourself up more. Because you have outgrown a cycle or a stage in your life. And yet there's also this fear of letting go of it because it is familiar, because it feels secure. Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Yep. Things are changing very, very quickly. And again, I feel like, Scorpio, it is time to make some big changes in your life, especially if there are changes that frankly frighten you or feel daunting to you, I should say. And really following your heart and intuition more. I'm getting the message from Spirit. Your heart and your intuition has kept you safe. You will be kept safe as you move forward. Your intuition will lead you through experiences that are for your own expansion. And so sometimes that makes you feel like you got your heart broken. Sometimes that makes you feel like you went down a path that didn't work well for you or didn't work in your favor. But there was something that you were meant to experience in order to grow. And I know I know that can seem like a cliche to people. I'm recognizing that. But I really do feel like something is shifting. Maybe something is shifting internally. And you're now moving forward. What is this about exactly? Tell us clearly. What is this about? Interesting. Scorpio, there is something that once gave you a sense of accomplishment or personal fulfillment, and I don't think it does anymore. I really do feel like this actually could be like your work or maybe a field of study or your major. Something that you once invested a lot of energy in. It felt like it just became comfortable at a certain point, or you just told yourself over and over, like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want to do, that you kind of stopped asking yourself this question. And I feel like in some sort of aftermath that you are experiencing this month, Scorpio, there's a lot of clarity. Or at least you're realizing that your happiness looks different than you thought it would. What else do we have for Scorpio? Show us clearly, please. My goodness. What else do we have for Scorpio? And I mean, something that I'm thinking with the astrology, we do have Venus going direct in Leo on the 3rd. Venus has been retrograde since the end of July. It's been in Leo the entire time. And so there could be some things that are making you reevaluate your career, your work, your purpose. Maybe there's even something financial going on here as well, or just something that is shaking you out of your comfort zone. But I do feel like there is now this forward-moving energy. Honestly, in general, September has a lot more of a forward-moving shift because we have Venus going retrograde on the 3rd. We have Mercury going retrograde on the 14th or 15th, which is the same day as the new moon in Virgo. So kind of interesting synergy there. It feels like things are starting to move forward. There's definitely a gear shift. The pistons are starting to move again, where we've been in kind of a slower or more disrupted period. And really, as we continue through the next few months, we have more and more planets going direct. We have Pluto going direct. We have Saturn going direct in November. There's just this kind of building momentum as we get towards the end of this year. And I feel like a lot of you are finally flowing in the direction of your spirit or your heart. It does feel like a bit of a leap of faith, or at least branching out of your comfort zone, because that's where your happiness usually lies with the 10 of Cups. very often the thing that really does fulfill us is something that feels like a bit of a stretch. There's that kind of ratio of, yes, this feels like a bit of a learning process for me, or a learning curve, but it also feels like I'm still capable of moving in this direction. For others of you, this is also about relationships. There is more harmony. You are finding love with the Knight of Cups and Ten of Cups, or building upon a loving foundation. I feel like there are people who want to support you, Scorpio. And what I'm actually hearing from Spirit, it's like almost this fragment of a conversation where, someone's saying, like, do you even want to do this anymore? Like, do you even like your job anymore? Do you even like this field you're in anymore? And you kind of didn't want to hear that, but I feel like these people are still supporting you. Like, they see this in you, and I feel like they love you, and they want what's best for you, or they don't want you to be stuck in a situation that isn't fulfilling for you. Oh, God, I feel like someone's, like, having a cry about this. I feel like there's a really emotional conversation where it's like, there's kind of this this moment where you're talking to someone, and they just say something to you, Scorpio, and it feels like you're the one who's actually kind of like crying, but it's like a release. It feels cathartic to me. Like someone just opens the floodgates for you. And maybe that's the image of the storm. Maybe that's what I'm getting here. Maybe you're realizing what isn't working, what is broken, and you don't even really know where to go from here. And yet there's still just this relief of acknowledging this situation isn't right for me anymore. And I think there will be more clarity and future more clarity that comes in the future with the Two of Wands in the future position here. I feel like a lot of you really need to admit what your heart is trying to tell you this month. Because a lot of you have been very in your head, or I don't even know if in your head is the right word. It's just like trying to maintain a false sense of stability that's not actually stable, because it's not sustaining you. And I feel like there is this healing with Temperance. There is this integration that is happening. And I really do see this as like a liminal energy. You're standing between two energies here. And I mean, coming October, beginning of your season, we really do have some interesting stuff that's happening. We have a full moon eclipse at the end of October. And so maybe things are kind of shifting. The tides are already shifting before this eclipse, which is in your 7th house of relationships, of partnerships, commitments. Yeah, there's definitely that's so interesting. I had the Emperor card that fell out of the deck here, but I swore it was the Death card as it was kind of spiraling to the floor. This Emperor did actually come in reverse, or I pulled it in reverse. Tell me about this Emperor in reverse. Tell me about the Emperor in reverse. Show us clearly, please. Oh, okay. 3 of Wands. I mean, honestly, this could represent a job still. This could represent a boss or someone who had some sort of authority or power over you. And that person is quite literally falling away. I swear, I saw the Death card. That is so strange. And there's something new coming in. And in fact, you had to be dethroned. You had to be thrown out of a situation that, again, was very comfortable in order to actually get what you wanted. And I know that feels backhanded to a lot of you, but the universe is seriously clearing some space for you in the month of September. And I need you to trust that, especially if this feels like a really hard month. I know this Mercury retrograde is pretty powerful, in my opinion, because it's in the sign of Virgo. It's very potent here. And it might feel like you are having a hard time getting support from other people or even from the universe at large, but the universe is actually supporting you in a very unexpected way or in a very mysterious way. The Moon. Yeah, I really do feel like a lot of you are just going through this very emotional period. I even want to say like a trying period, if I'm being honest. And, you know, I really try to be very authentic in these readings. I don't like to sugarcoat things. I don't want people to be afraid of this reading. You will kind of know intuitively if you really just take a moment to center yourself if this reading is right for you or not, if this is your message. But I feel like a lot of you who do need to hear this, yes, you are going through a really hard time. You are going through an emotional period. You've already kind of been in this place of like almost apathy is what I want to call it. And that apathy is kind of dissolving away or melting away, and beneath that there's actually this void, there's this pain, there's this sorrow, and it's like you've been trying to tell yourself like, I shouldn't feel this way, I shouldn't feel this way, I have this thing in my life, I have all these things, all these people. I just feel like there's a big emotional period. And honestly, this actually makes sense as we get into the end of September, because we go into Libra season, which is your astrological 12th house of your subconscious spirituality. And some people call it the house of your undoing. So you are seeing patterns that are no longer working for you, things that are dysfunctional for you, self-limiting beliefs. There's a lot that is coming up for the sake of healing, particularly with the eclipses that we have. So, wow, really, really important energy. We do actually have a solar eclipse in your 12th house, again, also in October. And it's interesting that it feels like there is something that is coming. There's a shift that is coming. And the visual I got was like after the thing, after the storm. So it feels like there's something really weird that's happening with time this month. Or at least around this time. What else do we have for Scorpio? What else do we have for Scorpio? I knew this card was going to come out. I have the Sage card here, and the message is Purify. And I mean, I'm sure many of you are aware that sage is a plant that is often used for purification purposes, to cleanse energy or cleanse entities out of a space. But I really feel like there is a cleansing that is happening here. There's a purification that is happening here. And it feels like things that are not in alignment for you anymore are just being cleared away. And it's important that you trust in this process and that you don't hold on to things that aren't serving you. Because I am noticing at the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Cups in reverse here, some of you are really trying to tell yourself that you should stay in a situation that your heart already knows isn't right for you. Maybe it is a relationship for some of you, but honestly, I really do want to say this feels like your role. You have to let me know in the comments down below. What is it in your heart that you know you are done with, that you need to move on from, that you need to leave behind, or that you've outgrown? Because I feel like that's really important that you acknowledge that this month, Scorpio. And those are all the messages I have for you this month. I hope this was helpful. I hope this wasn't too heavy. Again, I don't sugarcoat things. I like to be very real with all of you. And I hope that this just gave you some things to really think about or to kind of help shift perspective. I feel like there is something really important that is happening. There's a very important integration for you at this time. And it's very important that you open up to the alchemy of life. I do have links in the description box down below for all of my personal readings, distance Reiki sessions, and social media accounts. I will see you all in the next video, Scorpio. Take care and have a blessed September.